Hello and welcome to The Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm George Szamuely. With me today, of course, is co-founder of The Gaggle, Peter Lavelle, host also of RT's talk show, Crosstalk. Well, there are just over 27 hours left of the Trump presidency, and everybody is waiting in anticipation of his last acts, which are expected to be pardons. Given by the recent media stories, the pardon that the two of us had hoped for and that many, many people around the world had hoped for, namely the pardon of Julian Assange, doesn't look as if it's on the cards. No. Media may be wrong, they've been wrong in the past, but it certainly doesn't look on the cards. What is very depressing is what an uninspiring list of pardons that Trump appears to be preparing. It seems like he's bought into his daughter and his son-in-law's penal reform project. I mean, they seem to be well-intentioned amateurs, but who don't seem to know very much about penal reform, who is and who is not deserving of clemency. So he's bought into all of that, and a variety of white-collar criminals, Medicare fraudsters. There's a rapper who's on a gun charge, but who happens to be a Trump supporter. So it looks like a very, very uninspiring list. So Trump has a chance to go out in glory, and he seems to be definitely screwing it up.
Yeah, his daughter and his son-in-law's fingerprints are all over this here, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's an extraordinary power the president has. It's an extraordinary privilege also, and every once in a while it is used to right a true wrong. Okay, I mean the clemency thing, that's fine. Show mercy, yeah, I get that. Okay, but you know, that's not really reaches the level of what this is supposed to be all about. I'm not against it, okay? And you and I have spoken earlier. He has pardoned some people, like these Blackwater people, which I find unconscionable. But you and I agree. That's his right. That's his right under the Constitution, and I'm not going to contest it, okay? I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm going to say he's the president. He has the right to do it. But this, with Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, these are the two big ones, okay? And it seems to me that, Donald Trump is your legacy going to be January 6th, or is it going to be pardoning two whistleblowers? I mean, there's a pretty big difference there. And I think the choice is obvious here. The decision is clear here. And it breaks my heart, and tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people around the world are waiting in these last hours of your presidency to do truly the right thing. Sure. And on top of it, Mr. President, you're going to be pardoning a person that you can pardon a person that's been persecuted by the deep state, the intelligence community, and they have done that to you. These are the same exact people that have tormented Julian Assange and that have tormented you. You have a lot in common with Julian Assange at this moment. Exactly. And show it to him, okay? Yeah, I'm angry about this, okay? I'm very passionate about this.
But you're absolutely right.
And let Julian Assange tell his story, all right?
Exactly right. That the very people who have persecuted Julian Assange and who have rejoiced in all of the pain and humiliations that he has undergone are the very same people who have done the same thing to Trump. I mean, obviously, what was within their powers against him. And so right now, the only people who would be railing and gnashing their teeth and tearing their hair out were Trump to pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, are the very people who hate him, who want to see him impeached, who want to see him destroyed and extirpated from American life. Why Trump would want to placate his worst enemies is just a complete mystery.
Yep. Trump, don't you just want a piece of them on the way out? Come on,
Right.
tell me you want a piece of them.
Exactly.
We all do.
That's
Because
it.
you know what? They got away with it. They got away with all of it.
Right. And if they say, oh, well, that proves that he and Julian Assange were in collusion with Putin in 2016, so what? They're going to say that anyway. Whatever you do.
The missing laptop from Nancy Pelosi's office. A woman's going to sell it to the Russians. We saw that one coming. We saw that one coming. There was a film with Brad Pitt. It was a dark comedy. And it was, this is a guy in the CIA. He's writing his memoirs, okay, and he loses the memory stick, and some loon picks it up and thinks, oh my God, this is really important, It's his memoirs from like 20 years before, and so she needs money for plastic surgery. Like she wanted to have her hips done or something like that, and she goes to the Russian embassy, and they're like, what? You want what? You want to sell us what? This is top secret information. He said, what? What's on? Well, why are you here?
Right.
That's just the same exactly. I mean, all they have to do is talk to Nancy's chauffeur. We already know everything. So, I mean, I don't know. But, I'm trying to find levity in this because it's all absurd, okay? But the true absurdity here is the people that crashed your presidency, crashed fighting for the truth. I mean, can you find communion there? Okay. And you know what? Are they going to draw that conclusion? They always do it anyway. Who cares? Why do you care about what these people think? They hate you. They broke the laws. They broke norms. They have no self-respect. Okay. I say, clobber them on the way out. Okay. And you'll be cheered around the world.
Exactly. You would go out in a blaze of glory. You would be the real champion of free speech, the real champion of the free press, the real champion of open government, transparency. Everything would suddenly look in a very different light. Now, of course, Pelosi and Hillary Clinton are going to say this, but they said this the other day, yesterday. I mean, I think it was yesterday, Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton were calling for a 9/11 style commission to investigate Trump's links with Putin. I mean, this is just now. I mean, so they're still, playing this whole Putin card. Of course they're going to do it. Who cares what they think?
What I think they should have like a 9/11 type commission on what happened on the Capitol, because you know what? They're going to be very embarrassed if there really was an honest one carried out. Okay, yes. Because they invented, it's the same exact thing. Hillary loses on election night, and we know Robbie Mook and those people say, well, this blame the Russians, okay? And so, so you have the events on Capitol Hill, and the next morning it's white supremacists. I mean, what? That was invented fast, okay?
Right.
Like that, okay? And they want to keep that narrative going.
Right.
So, Donald Trump, why should you give a hoot about these people? I don't, your followers don't. And there are people across the world that see the erosions of free speech, but they traditionally look to the United States for guidance, and to the UK. Both countries have screwed it up badly.
Right.
And it's time to right the ship, okay, and say that one man can still make a difference.
That's right. That's right. And what Julian Assange did, he exposed the war crimes that Trump supposedly objected to. He ran in 2016. He's against the Iraq war. He's against the Afghanistan war. He's against stupid military interventions. That's what you ran on. You're still pretending that you're the sort of the anti-interventionist person. That was exactly Julian Assange's agenda. And so for him just to treat Julian Assange as if somehow he's an enemy of the United States, I mean, it goes against everything that supposedly Trump stands for. So if he walks out, leaves the presidency without an amnesty or without a pardon for Julian Assange, he essentially vitiates his stance as the anti-swamp person, the anti-deep state person, the anti-war person. I mean, that's gone. You had your chance to show what you're made of, and you didn't take it.
And the interesting thing is here, we're being telegraphed what Biden's first 100 days could be. And it looks more likely than not. We have to remember, Trump got most of his things done through executive order, like Obama did, let's be honest here. But they want to wipe that clean, like his presidency never happened. Okay, they want to get rid of the tax cut, which I can go either way on. Okay, I mean, but because that's a symbol of his here. But if you gave a pardon to Julian Assange, they'll never stop talking about it, and you'll never be able to wipe that away. All the other stuff, the way the media works, okay, and the mandarins in high tech, they'll scrub him. They'll scrub him from history. But if you give this pardon, there's no way you can scrub that. No way. Okay, and that would be the greatest way to get back at them.
Right. Exactly right. And the people who apparently were urging him not to pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden was Bill Barr. Now, why does Trump care what Bill Barr thinks or advises? Bill Barr did more to destroy Trump presidency than anybody else. It was he who kept quiet about Hunter Biden's Ukraine connections and the criminal investigation of Hunter Biden when it could have made a difference to the impeachment last year. It was he who didn't do anything to investigate the election fraud that took place. So for him to kowtow to what Bill Barr, a kind of Mr. Republican establishment, thinks, again, just it seems a really pathetic way to go out.
One of the interesting things to me, and this gets a little bit more psychological than political, because Trump had political instincts, but he had no political ability, I would say. And I guess it's what's kind of difficult to understand is that his political instincts told him never to trust these people, but right. He did. And it was a weakness. It was a flaw. Yeah. And I think I started out by, with his daughter and son-in-law. They were a malign element in the White House from day one. Okay, from day one. Mm-hmm. And there may be a number of reasons for that, which we have already talked about. But it's really interesting for me is that here is the ultimate outsider. Truly, I mean, not like since Andrew Jackson, and that's a long time ago. But he ended up listening to the counsel of these people that are part of the problem, the problem of neoliberalism. And this is not party affiliation. This is ideological. Okay, and so he allowed himself to be captured by those people. And like Douglas McGregor, why wasn't he at day one? Okay.
Right. No, I think that's right. And there is a kind of an interesting psychological aspect to it. Whether is it a matter of some personal insecurity, some deep down, he still thinks that these are the elites, that they're somehow above him. I mean, why does he spend so much? Did he spend so much time talking to the New York Times? And then being surprised by every time he talked to them, he would get an unflattering write-up. I mean, I know he's a salesman. He's been a salesman all his life, and he thinks he can win everyone over. But surely, he would have had enough political sense to know there are people you can't win over. People who hate you, people who want to see you destroyed. You're not going to win them over giving them a friendly interview. They're gonna do you in. So that still seems to be a kind of he hired all those people, McMaster, John Bolton, John Kelly, all of whom who hated Trump, all of whom wanted him gone.
Julian Abrams was brought back in which was just truly astounding. Okay, what he should have done is on a regular basis bring people into like the Situation Room in the White House and just have alternative media there. Just totally ignore these mainstream people because you're not going to get a fair deal from them anyway. He never did, not on one topic. How three ice cream scoops, and his obesity and never ever ending. And he should have brought in like Breitbart, something like that, and just say, let's talk policy. I'm not interested in trivial questions. Let's go policy. Right. And but this is all Monday morning quarterbacking. You and I observed it very keenly for the last 4 years, and I have to say that we probably lamented more times than we were happy. Okay, because I think the whole thing was a missed opportunity. Like not giving this pardon is a missed opportunity.
And that's the thing. There are 27 hours to go. He may well never get this chance again. the odds are heavily stacked against him. That's it. You want to make a lasting impact during your last few hours in office, and that's a very big deal. The pardon power. You're not going to get this again, and there it is. And then you could have gone out in a blaze of glory. You're a world historic figure. I mean, imagine Julian Assange walks out of prison. I mean, this would be a huge worldwide event.
It's like
President Trump.
It's a positive thing too.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's not like giving clemency or amnesty or pardon to a serial killer or
Exactly.
a drug kingpin or something.
Exactly.
I mean, all of these people, again, you and I are very conservative on this. That's his right to do it. That's part of the office. Okay, fine. But I would like something to cheer about and say, yes, justice has been served.
Absolutely.
Finally.
That's right. And to see the scowls on the faces of all the people who are furious, Comey, Brennan.
You do the Nancy clap.
Exactly. They're fuming and ranting, and Maddow is ranting, and all of that. I mean, you think this surely would be a wonderful.
You'll have to impeach him again. Let's go to Mar-a-Lago, impeach him again.
That's exactly. I mean, I can't think of anything more pleasurable than just to see them all fuming and ranting. I mean, leaving with, and you're pardoning some rapper on a gun charge, or some Medicare fraudster in Florida. I mean, that's it. That's going to be your last act, your legacy. And as you say, these executive actions, they're all going to be wiped clean in a matter of hours once Biden is inaugurated.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they're all printed up, just waiting for the signature. Okay, because Biden knows there's going to be an enormous amount of tension. They quote unquote won, but winning isn't the same thing. Is winning and governing, and there's going to be a flurry of things that he wants to put his name to, but then there's going to come to a screeching halt. And so, it's interesting. Donald Trump on the way out has a way to make a big splash. And the only way that Biden can make some kind of impression is to undo what his predecessor did. I mean, that's not, it's not original, that's for sure, but it's certainly not making your mark there, which he never will. He never will make his mark, okay? And because I personally think that there's after the inauguration day, then the real insiders, and it's all staffed by Obama people. They're going to take the reins and they're going to determine where this goes. And all of them don't like Joe very much, okay? And actually, a lot of them were quite public about it at one time. So that's going to be the next thing. It's going to be murky. It's going to be a lot of double speak, side speak.
Right. That's exactly right. I mean, be great. I mean, once Julian Assange walks out of prison, he would have all sorts of interesting information to impart. I mean, we may even find out where the source of those Hillary Clinton emails, or the DNC.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, look at big mouth, tic tac brain, Pompeo. I have Hillary's emails. Yeah. What is it? All hat, no cow. Thank you, Pompeo.
But the other thing is that what, at least going by the newspaper reports, is surprising is that he won't be offering a pardon for Steve Bannon. Now, if that's true, I find that quite shocking. I mean, Bannon has gone into bat for him for the past year and a half. I mean, he has really, on his podcast, I mean, every day he's been batting for him. And he's in some legal jeopardy. Not to offer him a pardon would be, again, a shocking dereliction toward a friend and an ally. I know they had a falling out at some point, but so what? I mean, Bannon has put bat to ball for him. So I think that was shocking. And he's apparently no pardon as well for Rudy Giuliani. I mean, I don't know what legal jeopardy he might be in, but a preemptive pardon is not something you want to turn your nose down.
Well, and of course, we haven't talked about the ultimate pardon. The rumor mill is that he will not pardon himself, which kind of makes sense to me, given his mindset. Okay, right. because he truly believes, and I believe that he truly believes that he didn't do anything wrong. And so that would be a stain, and he doesn't want to have that.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah, I think
that's his whole personal decision. But the thing that is really interesting about that whole calculus is that, and this is a little perverse, I have to admit, but if he were to pardon himself, of course, it would be the literati would just go nuts for a couple news cycles, and then it would go away. We got rid of him. There'll be a lot of patting each other on the back. But without a pardon, well, he's still fair game, and Trump likes that, okay? Because he wants to stay in the public eye, because, and maybe he'll get over to Parler or another platform, and he's going to get back to business, and he'll be unrestrained, okay? Unrestrained. See, we don't know, because of everything that happened on January 6th, is we don't know what his calculations are right now. I think he's had to recalibrate a lot of things, because a lot of people have abandoned him, okay?
Right.
So,
I think that's right. A pardon for himself doesn't really do that much more, because I don't think that there's anything that he did in office that they can prosecute.
I don't either.
Trying to prosecute him for January the 6th, it's not going to go anywhere. He's protected by the First Amendment, and so therefore, he didn't do anything to incite violence.
Did you see Turley's piece?
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. So don't show up. I think that's a perfect legal advice.
Right. So I think that whereas the state, a pardon doesn't help him if the New York State goes after him for anything that he did. So I think so it doesn't really help him. I think the same goes for his family. I think there's nothing they can get him on. So I think I don't see that a pardon is particularly a positive, and he looks as if he's hiding something if he does pardon himself. So I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. But if he allows his close allies, the people who have really fought for him, with great loyalty and at some jeopardy. I mean, Rudy Giuliani's reputation has been very severely dented by what he has done for Trump. If he allows Giuliani just to face possible legal peril, that's not good. You need to be loyal to your allies.
You bring up such an excellent point, because the way when I think of Rudy Giuliani right now, it's a very different Rudy Giuliani from like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, because 2 years ago he was one of the most famous former mayors in America. Had a kind of like a Hollywood reputation of going after the bad guys, going after drug dealers and kingpins and all of that. I mean, he was like, well, I think even Fox calls him the nation's lawyer. And now we have because he came out in such a viciously partisan way. I could remember watching him on Laura Ingraham, and even she has a legal training, and she wanted to, do you really want to say these things, Rudy? Are you sure?
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. He would sometimes come on and look as if he'd really just been drinking. I mean, he just come on and absolutely hammered. Not a good idea for a lawyer to start talking while you had a few scotches behind.
Well, I mean, and plus, I mean, it plays to the whole persona that he developed over decades, is that he just loves media attention. Right. I mean, and he's kind of a politician that kind of predated Trump in a way, of being able to use the media to his advantage. And both of them are New Yorkers, okay? So they understood the tough and tumble world of the tabloids and whatnot.
Right. But you're absolutely right. I mean, that TV show, I think Law and Order, I think it was kind of based on, Rudy Giuliani when he was the U.S. attorney for the Southern District. And then, of course, as mayor, he became Mr. 9/11. The nation kind of, identified with him in the immediate aftermath of 9/11. So he had a huge reputation. But now he's got a dent in that, and so Trump owes him. Maybe he wasn't a very effective defender, but nonetheless, you owe the people who have gone into bat for you.
Yeah, I remember those late night appearances. Remember the big signuts and things like that, and and He just loved talking. He had that smile that just wouldn't go away. He didn't really want to listen to the questions. He just wanted to talk. I mean, he was like, I need attention, I mean, and I'm not going to, I mean, now that you say the Scotch, it kind of makes a little sense to me, but we're not making any claims here. But he did seem to be a bit loose.
I think so. Yeah, because as you say, when Laura Ingraham did that, are you sure you want to say all this? He looked to me like somebody who's just been drinking. He thinks he's still at some cocktail party, just
trying to impress.
That's right. So I think that and this, as I say, same goes for Bannon. I mean, I think Bannon, seems to me he's facing some legal jeopardy. I mean, he's under, he's facing a criminal trial. So I think Trump owes him. Not to mention, I think he was a key player in 2016. So
oh, absolutely.
I
mean, so if you're going to pardon someone that was in part of like Medicaid fraud and illegal gun possession and stuff like that, this reaches the bar. I mean, it's fair enough, okay? And Trump's pardoning all his crony friends. That's what a lot of presidents do, okay? Do you remember George H. Bush on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day? Iran-Contra. Oh, that was wiped. The slate was wiped clean, okay? Because all these guys were going to go to prison, okay?
That's right. And that's why it's very important, because when it appears that it's essentially a politically motivated prosecution, in other words, these are allies, friends of the president who are vulnerable precisely because of politically motivated prosecutors, they are the ones who are most in need of a pardon. So that's why when George H.W. Bush did that to all the Iran-Contra people, that was a reasonable. He said, yeah, essentially they're going after all these people, because they're going after me. I mean, that's it. They're essentially stand-ins for me. And I think that should be Trump's view. I mean, they're going after Bannon, Giuliani, whoever, because they're kind of stand-ins for Trump. And so, it would be very, very shocking if he just left them, hanging.
Just out of pure curiosity, I'd like to be a fly on the wall. Who's giving him this legal advice?
Sounds like.
And what are the arguments being presented to him not to pardon Julian Assange? What are the reasons? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but Tucker Carlson has had a huge change of heart on the Assange.
Right.
Okay, and I actually have a lot of respect for Tucker because he came out and said that. He said, "I've changed my mind on this."
And he has Tucker Carlson now. He's had Jimmy Dore on. He's had.
But that is why he had Jimmy Dore.
He had Stella Morris, who's who's Julian Assange's girlfriend on. And then yesterday he had Pamela Anderson on. So and I think Trump's. I mean, and Tucker's words, I can't remember exactly what he said, something like, go out with some dignity, don't go out with, pardoning some Medicare fraudster in Florida. I mean, have some dignity when you're going out.
Yeah, come out with a knife and shred these things, okay?
Right.
Shred these myths, shred these lies, okay?
Right.
And just really stick your thumb in their eye. These people that are so highfalutin and important, and they know what the national interest is. I mean, it's all nonsense. It's so nauseating. Been listening to it for decades.
Right. Exactly.
It would be that one shearing moment that would just make them shake in their boots, and that would be worth it. Oh God, it would be worth it.
Exactly. And then Julian Assange goes back to WikiLeaks, and WikiLeaks then goes back to doing what he was doing so excellently for so many years, which is exposing war crimes, illegal wars, and the like. So, and as you said, which only causes suffering among the very deep state people that you would have thought Trump would want to see suffer.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you.
We have the last few hours.
27 hours.
There's a historical moment ahead of us. Please grasp it.
Please grasp it.
That's all I can say.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, Peter. We will, of course, be maintaining our laser-like focus during these last few hours, and we will be back soon. So remember, if you like The Gaggle, please like, share, and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.